Welcome back to the podium. My name is THiiX, and today we present to you a brand new series where your blunders become our wonders under the floodlights of the arena in the finals. Today we have Krazor, who reached out to me with confusion and anger on his gameplay, keeping him around the gold 4 rank. That is about here for the ELO in the finals. Keep in mind today that this new series is to help out all of us improve together at the finals, so instead of just insulting this player or his rank or his current skill or his build or his team, respect him for actually, wanting to improve. All I'm really asking is that you actually please just, keep anything non-constructive out. Oh no. This guy's trapped. I'm just kidding. Okay, so let's actually just rewind and see how we exactly got into this position. Starting off with the early game, we can actually see that this team actually opted to hold the current Cashout B from the current team instead of fighting for the actual vault. Now, if you've been watching a few of my guides, you'll actually notice that this is similar to the THiiX VARP. But the players here have kind of really made the hold more obvious to the opponents, and you'll see exactly what I mean. So first of all, they've exploded the roof, and then they drop it again. Okay, so from this position here, then let's break down exactly what's happened. In this scenario, instead of dropping the cash out like right here, you could actually go ahead and like do a couple of things, right? Like, for example, we know that probably by default, they're likely going to be using the zip plier, so you could set up with an explosive mine on the zip plier, for example. And you could then control a medium inside of the building here on his own, setting up things like the gas, basically along the stairs. Just putting up traps like inside of the building. Once they're taking the Vault 2 towards the Cashout B, you can then basically tell the heavy, medium, and I think the other medium you're playing with to basically reposition up and kind of get yourself in like a combat-ready scenario. For example, you could hold like right here, for example, if you know they're going to be using the rope. You can then coordinate and say, okay, they're using the rope, or you have your recon, for example. It's obviously cringe right now, but okay, they're using the rope. Let's peek, 3, 2, 1, and then you shoot, and then shoot the monster doing that, and then boom, you have the high ground, and then you can basically shoot them from above here. But what you've essentially done is let them take Vault number 2. Okay, so now imagine you've just taken Vault number 2, and you're going here, and you're like, oh, they've dropped the roof and dropped the floor. Well, they can either decide to go to the other vault or the other cash out, and then double cache it if they wanted to and completely avoid you altogether. Or, now that they've noticed, oh hey, the roof's been blown, they have no high ground, well, what can they do? It's very simple. They go to the roof and they take the high ground. You could go, the very classic way on the rope, right, for example, but they come across here and then boom, what do? Now they have high ground against you. And they don't even need to rush or anything. And why is that? Because they're not the ones defending. If you're doing that strategy like you said, where like you're holding from here, the roof here's been blown and then the floor here's been blown, and you're kind of like waiting for them to go in and put the cash out so you can trap them. I get why you're doing it, but really it just makes you not do anything, and I think that that's like a little bit more inefficient rather than anything else. I think that you can be more proactive in this. And especially if, like I said, holding from up here or flanking from here, holding from here, you can do a lot better. God damn it, why'd you end the game? Yes, obviously, recon is in the game right now, and obviously it's, kind of broken, right? But that doesn't mean that you can't trick people with recon. For example, again, holding here, if they see you on the recon, well, obviously, no, they're going to go and push you, right? If you hold tab, obviously not in this game mode, but in the actual game mode, you'll see if it's a medium, light, heavy, right? Or in the pre-screen intro when you kind of like see all the players, you'll see who the players are. Hello. Hope you're doing good. I get why you'd want to drop it if you're defending, but it just really wasn't the ideal scenario. So what I would recommend instead is this. Like, have your medium set up traps inside the building, or position yourself into high ground as a team, depending on if the other team does have recon or doesn't have recon, for example. But hopefully that's like a little bit more clarity on actually the early game and kind of starting off playing. This is obviously just one of like tons of other ideas that you can have. Like, I'm not just saying this, do this strategy every single time and it'll work. Like, that's the beauty of the finals, is like innovation and thinking of stuff. Like for example, you could have like, a medium hit, like a medium in here, like flanking or looking across. And then you could have like the heavy with another medium on site. Just that there's like so many things. Or you could have like a light when light hopefully gets buffed. Embark, please. Save my man Piggy. But yeah, there's just a lot more different scenarios than what you did there. And if it was like a test scenario, then I understand. But it wasn't the best, most optimal idea. Okay, so moving on then to where the orange team actually approaches. We can actually see here, light kind of just flies down the hole. Yeah, right there. That was kind of like really confusing. But the light flying down the hole there has actually given Krazor basically the kite to look for an easy early elimination. Then you'll see here, to Krazor's surprise, when he moves over, moving himself out of a decent place and cover. The enemy heavy goes for a Quake-style jump shot flying rocket, a very, very nice shot. And then basically it leaves Krazor to basically an impending death. He was like, oh, that's not smart. So yeah, you kind of understood there, like, even there for yourself, the fact that you're saying that stuff is good because you're learning very slowly. Hopefully you take that information in, because if you say it's not smart, then you should know for the future what not to do. Should you really use an RPG or jump down below you, you know, in front of another player? No, probably not, because you will take damage. I mean, look, you dealt 185 damage just purely to yourself. The only problem here, though, that I can see right now is Chopstick here. We have Mr. G, who's actually with Krazor right here, but we can see Chopstick is actually very separated. Chopstick being separated here is actually another discussion for another video, another day. But you're actually in a suitable place here. If there was 3 of you, it would be so much better, though. But the problem here, though, is firstly, you're not actually defending an objective, okay? You're just waiting for opponents to kind of deposit the vault. You might as well be playing the finals 2 before anything actually valuable happens in this game, okay? Secondly, you're not aware of the potential situations occurring around you. We can basically see when you decide to put that hole in the roof there, you're allowing the opponents to basically stack above you and then basically prepare for an attack. Because you're not the ones actually defending or even attacking in this situation, you're kind of just sitting there. You're actually just giving opportunities for the orange team to basically come up with a plan on the fly instead of like be reactive, okay? That's why on my channel, when I taught the THiiX VARP, even though it was basically mainly designed for actually solo play, it really teaches you to kind of always be active in the match. And you obviously might say, well, THiiX, I'm following your strategies, but I need some help. Okay, that's fine. Join my Discord server, it's in the description as well, and follow the instructions here in this VOD Reviews help channel. And what I'll do is I'll actually review your matches as well on my channel for future stuff if you meet all the criteria. And if you're in the hunt for a really easy to use recording software for PC for me to actually review your clips, then I've actually partnered with Steelseries Moments. It's the easiest and fastest way to share your gameplay with a sleek inbuilt editor. My microphone is going to be pretty damn loud, as we can see, so I'm going to turn the microphone down a little bit. Let's bring the clip to like the very end using the slider right here. So you can share it to Discord, you can share it to your YouTube, you can share it to Reddit as well, Facebook, or X, I guess it's called. But for now, I'm just going to export it. Okay, now we can see my clip. Oh, this guy's confused. He is confused. 27 on 1. That one death killed me. That one death ruined me. No! Well, I'm getting reported by everyone. The setup is pretty easy. You just select your audio device, your chat device, and then your microphone input. Also, under the Moments panel, you can also change into your clip settings. So, for example, you might want 15 minutes for showing the entire match. You can change the video quality to be high, very high, or ultra. I found that high works pretty well. And then finally set up your default resolution. So check out Steelseries Moments for free in the description below and share your clips in my Discord for a chance for me to view them in my next video. So, early game, if you prefer to not fight for the vault initially, instead set traps inside of the building for the opponents to walk into, so then you can punish them. Yeah, it's very scruffy, very, very scruffy here. Dome shield you didn't need to use.
I'm hitting you, you're good, you're good. One heavy left. Come back up, please.
Good. Okay, so after trading some damage between your team and the orange team, the repositioning to the high ground here is actually really, really good. Obviously, minding the roof above, though, it's actually very, very important. Yeah, reversing it back, though, we can see that kind of Mr. G here leaves poor Chopstick alone at the bottom to kind of restore his own health, but yeah, here in the comms there, we can see it does appear that there was a call to regroup above. Chopstick should have listened to that call. I'm not too sure why Chopstick didn't. And I think, yeah, Chopstick's regenerating his own health there. Oh, and he's probably gonna die. Yeah, he goes down. Yes, Chopstick goes down to a grenade. Krazor now with the RPG. You're in a good position. No, don't shoot it. No, Krazor! Krazor wastes his RPG. Okay, that's fine. Okay, it's a good recovery. Good recovery. You still have the cash out. Yeah, we can kind of see here that the enemy orange heavy kind of has enough here, and then he kind of splits those players apart. It's a really nice play. Drops Mr. G here to be split away from the heavy, and then Mr. G is basically left alone, and a really nice flank there from the light. Yeah, this is a really good play. And that's why the team kind of initially got taken out in the first place. Okay, so if you're watching this as a viewer, what's a couple of things that we can actually identify for these players? If you have any things initially, then let me know in the comment section. For other players as well, you know, obviously I'm not saying that I'm the full expert here, but again, I'm making this series for everyone to improve. So what do you guys think that these players need to improve on? Okay, so first of all, I actually picked up a real obvious issue here with these players as a team. And it wasn't just from this clip, actually. It was from the overall game. But I'm kind of noticing that there isn't, like, a real leader or, like, an actual shot caller right here. I would actually prioritize yourself to kind of learn a lot more about the game. You know, guides on my channel. So that basically you can then lead the team to work as a unit rather than individually. Because if we go back just very slightly, if you just go to the start, you see how it all clashes right here. I'll just shut up.
What is it?
We set up B. Let's set up B.
We could go to 2, it's nearby.
We set up B.
You see, so that there's two people clashing, right? You need to assign one person to make the call, one person to learn about the game and spend time actually studying the game. And if you make the incorrect call, you own it. You're the IGL, okay? Some teams do prefer to all call, and that's when everyone has learned the game. Everyone kind of understands what's going on. But when you're kind of newer in the finals and you don't have as much experience learning much about like the rotations, the cash outs, when you should fight, when you shouldn't fight, having one guy to prioritize and be dedicated to actually learning that information is actually super important. So that's just one huge bit of advice, and that will actually help you out a ton. Who is going to be the person that makes all the calls? And you listen, everyone on the team listens to that person that makes the calls. And I promise, even if you guys are watching at home as a viewer, like that will help you tenfold, having one point of contact for a call. Everyone else can obviously still come, but it's up to one person to make the decision overall, and that does help a lot. Again, there are alternatives, there are different ways of doing it, but I think just for newer players, having one guy study the game a lot and then be able to teach the team around him why these things happen, it's actually going to be really, really useful. My friends, when I play with them with the finals, I actually teach them as we play, and I say, okay, I'm just letting you know, like, instead of doing this, this is why we do this, like, why does this happen, what do you think this is? Like, I genuinely teach them as we play the game, so then they can improve slowly and surely over time. Okay, so now, instant high ground, every single one of you, including you, Chopstick. Okay, I'd say, guys, regroup high ground, Chopstick, regroup high ground, quick. No need to bubble there. Chopstick's gone on his own. Again, Chopstick, a little bit silly there, my friend. You need to be playing with your team. You could also as well, like, punish the heavy. Okay, that was another thing. Like, right here, you take the first light out. You could then go in and punish the heavy. But looking at, like, taking a quick glance, if I saw that Chopstick was on 1 HP, and he wasn't being healed by my healer, you could say, like, oh, heal Chopstick, let's push the heavy, like, as an example, because it's then it's 2 mediums and a heavy versus 1 heavy and I think a medium. That's pretty winnable in my opinion, you know. I mean, you have charge and slam as well, and then you kind of go in, like, you don't need to save your teammate here, and it's gonna be very weird to say, but like, if he goes down, you're still in a good position. And look at the cash out. He's gone down, and it's a 3v2 right now. In this exact situation, it's the 3v2 because the light got revived. Okay? So if Mr. G goes down, then it's on you to kind of hold the rest of it. What do you have? Well, you have the C4 on the cash out. You have a dome shield able for you to put the dome shield down and then be able to shoot through it in case they return fire. And obviously you have your charge and slam as well for you to slam the building down another layer if they're going to be doing like the dome shield, heavy steals, medium heals, a heavy strategy or something like that, right? So you have a lot of stuff in your favor to be able to hold the cash out for a little bit longer. And obviously Mr. G here had fallen down over here where my mouse is and then ran left. Like, if Mr. G fell down and then noticed that, Mr. G could just jump back up. But it's fine that Mr. G went for a fight. It's not necessarily Mr. G's fault here. And then this way you got separated and killed by the light. This is really, really nice work here from the orange team. Maybe it wasn't intentional, but just very nice. And then going for the heavy here, it wasn't the best. You could have gone for the light because the light had less health. Like, as soon as you like ran down here, you could just turn and go for the light here, right? Mr. G's gone. It's GG for Mr. G. You could turn, go for the light. You could then pop your dome shield down and then try and shoot the heavy through the mesh shield. And then eventually the body, right? So that's just another decision as well. Again, very, very small, tiny decisions, but I mean, what else could you have done? Okay, so the next issue here then that I'm seeing, which is a real waste of utility across all the players. And the beauty of the finals right now is, of course, you know, theory crafting and beating whatever the current meta is. The meta has shifted nearly each time during the finals from closed beta 1 all the way to open beta. I mean, it has kind of stayed variously the same. But just basically take an hour of your time instead of playing the game just with a team and really talk about your builds together and all the puzzle pieces that kind of connect you as a unit of a team. Are you using those, you know, utilities enough as a team. Maybe you're forgetting that you have certain abilities that would actually help the team even more in certain situations, okay? Maybe your team would actually benefit you running a certain loadout instead of the one that you have currently, and then applying that like all together, you can come up with your default strategies that you can use with your team so they know exactly what you'll be doing, what their job should be, and then obviously, spend more time and brain power focusing, on what happens if they get countered or surprised, like we're seeing here, okay? If you have a method or a default idea in your head of what you want to do, it frees up so much more space for things that take you off guard or surprise you, because then your brain can kind of start working out what you can do for the call or, aiming, etc., to be able to take those players out instead. Even with small examples like this, here Krasov had many instances where he simply used an RPG, like, basically too early, and then, either, like, relied on his damage or the destruction, or he just kind of threw down, like, a dome shield when he didn't call for them to actually be used effectively instead. Try to really think about your utility and, kind of like, would it be used better once the heavy shields are out, or against the light, for example? Would it be better to use it to stop a Cashout or to damage grouped up opponents? Would it be better to save it for a fight so that you know that you can kind of follow up on? I was also going to mention as well how it kind of feels like you're using the Lewis gun, kind of like a shotgun. Like, you prefer to take really close range fights rather than kind of like forcing like longer drawn out fights that the Lewis gun's really good for. But honestly, I believe that those 2 points that I told you with teamwork and not wasting utility will help you so much. By default, you'll just basically see improvements regardless of whatever weapon of choice you'll use, okay? This is why in my VUP strategy guides, I say that it doesn't matter the gun you use, because the finals is not about kills. One of the best tips of advice that I've ever heard for gaming, I've heard this in the CSGO scene. I don't know where this quote necessarily comes from, but it's a really good quote, and I've lived by it ever since. It's basically, it might even help some of you at home too. So if people are saying, oh, this guy has done nothing, well, here's one quote I can give you then that hopefully helps you out a lot, because I've lived by this a ton. And as soon as the finals came out and it didn't matter about kills, it really doubled down for me. So the quote is, it's not about the kills you get, but it's about the deaths you avoid. And that statement, again, just can't be any more accurate for the finals. And as it stands, like right now, like I said, you don't get rewarded for eliminations, but the objectives that you play. So I hope that these tips have kind of helped you guys. This is the very first video of the series, so if you guys think I should have any improvements to do, or if there's anything I should change or talk about, remember to send in your submissions on the Discord. The Discord server is linked as well in the description. Obviously, write to me in the comment section as well with some information or details that you might have. And then obviously we can all help improve together. Even me, you can help me improve on my analysis and watching and talking about the team play. Anyway, thank you guys so much for being here and watching once again. We are wrapping up near the end of January. I've got loads more of these videos coming soon, as long as you guys keep sending in your submissions. As always, my name has been THiiX, and I'll see you on the podium.